Connect program. Thank you for joining today. Today is the 43rd in the series of CGC Level Connect program. We had 42 sessions earlier with 42 excellent alumni speakers. Today is Sunday, March 9th, 2025. It's 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Just a few slides about CG Connect for those of you who might be new to CG Connect. CG Connect is a private online platform that I created 5 years ago to help CEG alumni, CEG students, faculty, and all CEG stakeholders to connect with each other. Think of it as like a mini social media exclusively for CEG, for people to be able to connect and interact with each other. CEGconnect.com is the website. You can go, and the registration is free. Any CEG student or any CEG faculty or alumni can join, and you'll be able to interact with people in the portal. What is the CGC Level Connect series program that we're having today? It's a 1 hour online video podcast with one successful CG alumni guest speaker every month. So today's program is actually for the month of February. I could not do it in the end of February because of scheduling conflict. So this is a February program that I'm doing in early part of March. The guest speakers for the program are usually selected from a diverse pool of CG alumni. I had men and women, people based in India as well as overseas. We had several C-level corporate executives, academic leaders, vice chancellors, registrars. We have startup founders, entrepreneurs. We had several bureaucrats, investors, mentors, venture capitalists, angel investors. Believe me, CEG has such a diverse talent pool. We have people in every single sphere of business that we can think of. And so what I'm trying to do is to try to bring in those people to come and talk to our CG students and CG alumni so they can benefit from the interactions and learn from their experiences. So different industries, different backgrounds, different personalities. The program is usually scheduled for the last weekend of every month. This program was the program scheduled for last weekend of February, but we're doing it in March. Program is open and free to attend to all CG alumni, CG students, and CG faculty and all CG stakeholders. We do record these programs every session, and then the recording is available in our public free YouTube channel, which is CEG Connect. Of course, there is the CEGconnect.com website where you can see more information about the program as well. Also, in addition to the CEG C-Level Connect, we have other initiatives as part of the CEG Connect platform. We do a CEG Field Insights program. This is a session that is done once every 3 months, where the format is similar to this program, except that we choose our alumni from one industry and we have them talk about all the details of that industry in terms of research opportunities, employment opportunities, startup opportunities in that industry. We covered several industries so far: air transportation, electric vehicles, crypto, weather forecasting, etc. We are adding more and more sessions. We'll shortly have a CEG Insights program with cybersecurity shortly in the next 1 month. And we have one of our very successful CEG alumni who's doing very well in the US. He'll be our guest speaker for that program. In addition to that, I also run CG Connect Startup and Entrepreneur live networking event. We have done many events in Chennai. We are scheduled to do one more event in Chennai in the second quarter, and soon to be conducted in Bangalore and San Francisco as well. And finally, as part of the CG Connect, I also do free webinars on many topics: angel investments, topics on US and India immigration, taxation, end of life planning, investment opportunities in India for NRI, return to India. For those people who want to come back to India from the US, I have a special presentation. Return to India talks about the process, opportunities, and challenges for people to do that. I'm a psychologist and a psychotherapist, so I do programs for people on emotional wellness and mental health. Of course, on topics of very interested, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. We do programs either by myself or I engage people who are experts in this area to come and do the seminars for us. We have done one in AI by one of the professors of MIT in the US. He did a good presentation on AI, ML, deep learning, and large language models. This was done last year, very well received. We're trying to do more programs like that by having other people come onto the program. So with that, let's get on to the program today. Today's program is number 43, as I said, Sunday, March 9th. A few guidelines for those of you who are joining the program for the first time. Please stay muted. I want all the participants to stay muted, except for the host and the guest. And all participants, please turn off your video. The host, during the middle of the program, I'll ask you to open up your video for taking the screenshot. But until then, please turn off your video and also mute yourself. This entire session is recorded, as I said earlier, and the recording will be available in our public YouTube channel. During the program, if you want to have ask any questions to the or host or the guest, we can use the Slido program. And I will talk briefly about how to use Slido. And there will be periodic live polls in Slido. So Slido program, which is an open source program, can be used for you to ask questions live to the host or the guest. And as a host, I'll also be able to push some real-time polls where you can respond to the polls, so I can get feedback about the program real-time from all the participants. So when you get these polls in Slido, please participate in the polls. And during the question and answer session in the second half of the program, if your name is called, please unmute, open a video to ask your question. So today's session's guest speaker is Dr. Kavitha Velusamy. Kavitha is our CEG 1992 CE graduate. She is currently the Senior Vice President of Engineering at Robust.AI. We are all legally looking forward to hearing her thoughts on AI, robotics, etc., all hot topics. I'll be the host. Jaitesh Kalpakam, the co-host, is not able to join today, and Partha is our tech support who is in the call today. To join Slido, you can go to any device and go to any browser and type slido.com. When you type slido.com, you see a screen where it'll ask for the code for the day. The code for the Slido session for today is 8161559. 8161559. We will periodically be putting this code in the Google Meet chat box, so people who join late can use this code to join Slido session. Slido is very easy to use. When you go into Slido, it will ask for the code. When you enter the code, you will get the screen like this, where you have the ability to answer questions or participate in the polls as well. Okay. With that, I'm going to stop the presentation and then open up to hand it over to Kavitha. Kavitha, again, welcome to the call. Happy for you to join, and thank you for joining in a very early morning, your time in San Francisco, but we appreciate it. As you can see, the audience in the call today are made up of both alumni as well as students. And the first 20 minutes, what I would like to do until 8:30 p.m. is for you to talk about your journey from time you were in CEG to where you are now. Focus on significant learnings, insights that you would like to share with the students and alumni. And then we'll go on to the Q&A session after that. So with that, over to you. Thank you so much, Kavitha. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Kavitha. I'm really happy to be here, and I want to sharing my background, and hope you get something, even if you get something small out of that. I'll be happy. All right. I did my B as well as ME here, so both B and ME, 92 and 94. So it's actually double the fun. Then I actually moved on to do my PhD at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Then I have about 20 years in experience, worked on many technologies, audio, computer vision, robotics. So it's a very interesting journey, interesting career journey I had. And then I have been part of shipping some really interesting, impactful products, right? Alexa, Echo, that was one. Part of NVIDIA, I've shipped some platform products, a couple of robotics products. Earlier in my career, when I joined, when I was an individual contributor, as part of Cisco, shipped Cisco's telepresence. It's like a video conferencing system. So I have very different experiences shipping products. Okay, it's been pretty interesting, I would say, interesting journey, I would say. And then if I want to come back and start again, as Vish asked me to, on my journey, right? I did my B and I finished my B at 92, and I have my very really good friend Sudha in the audience too. Hi Sudha, and I'm really happy to see you all from CEG. So some of the learnings from both my education, right? B, then ME, as well as PhD. One of the things I would say is, when I joined B, I come from a small, I wouldn't call that as a village, it's village plus, right? And when I actually joined CEG, for the first 2 years, I struggled. In school days, I did really well. But then you come to this college, everybody is smart, and actually struggled for first 2 years. And then I actually picked up, and there was no stopping after that, right? So my advice is in general to look at, life is going to have ups and downs, right? So you are going to, maybe it's a new job, you want to change your career. There's always going to be something new that's happening in your life, and you may feel out of place, and that's okay. Once you realize it's okay, just you will get over that. So don't worry about it. So that's my simple advice there. And one more thing again, one thing that I got out of this experience is good friends, right? You go into the world, you're going to go into the world, it's going to be ups and downs. I'm telling you, it's going to be sometimes it's going to be hard. And so you need this really good friends with you, right? We're not going to judge you. You're just going to be with you to help you. And most of the friends, high probability is that you get from this college days. So you do cherish those friends. Is another advice to you. And one more fun fact, maybe I would say again. I want to start this with something fun. So one thing that happened, I want to talk to you about something that happened in ME. We were doing ME. I did my applied electronics. BE on the ECE. ME when I did applied electronics. ME time we were about 12 people in the class. So there was a microprocessor class, and we had a professor. His name was Rajapal Perinvam, and there was a test. So it was 8087 pin diagram. I don't know if you guys know that now, but that was the question, and we had to answer. So he couldn't come to the class. So he gave the test, he handed it off to someone else, and he left. And this teacher trusted us. Okay, so the new professor, he trusted us, and he said, "Hey guys, you do the test," and he left. Anyway, so what did we do? We all, the newfound freedom, took our books, and all of us just copied off it. 8087 pin diagram. But anyways, the professor came back. We all got caught. So anyway, he actually told RPP that, okay, we did this. And to our surprise, the professor didn't do anything. He gave us all good marks, and that was it. So the moral of the story is not to copy, but the moral of story is coming. So except one person, and he basically got low marks. So anyway, so we were trying to find why, because he went and told RPP that, I didn't start it. All these guys did it, and so I did it myself. I also did it. So RPP gave all of us good marks, and then he actually cut the marks for this person. But anyways, the moral of the story is that, don't rattle on your friends. Friends are there for you till, late in your life. So my moral of the story is, cherish friendship from this particular period, right? That's one thing. Then I actually I joined Motorola in Bangalore, and then I went to the US after a year. And my first job, I joined, and then after 3 weeks, I got laid off. And this was in 2000. When I actually was giving the interviews, I got about 5 jobs. I got all the 5 offers. There was one person, I was finishing up the interview. He gave me the job offer right then and there. And he said, if anybody beats this offer, I'll beat them. Tell me. So I joined the company. I mean, just saying, it was like on the peak. And then, by the time I joined, it was Y2K thing. The market was crashing, and the company closed down. They filed for bankruptcy, and I got laid off. And it was a hard time. And I was an H1B. As you know, it's a pretty tough time. But I actually was able to find another job within 3 weeks. And I joined a startup. And we got acquired into Cisco Systems. So which was a great journey. Right after that, I was there for close to about 8 years, 8 years. The whole journey for me, the startup and Cisco land was about 8, 9 years, I think. So the moral of the story is that, sometimes in life, you may see something which is like, oh my God, why did this happen to me? But, God may have bigger plans for you, which you may not see at the time. So I would just say that, hang in there, and things would work out. So that's an interesting story again. First job in the US, getting laid off within 3 weeks. So there's, after that in the life, it's like anything that life throws at you, you can actually work through it. Anyways, then after that, my leadership journey started with Amazon. That was a fantastic journey, I would say. And I worked on a few projects in Amazon, and I worked on a secret project. Built a project, we didn't ship it. I worked on Amazon Echo, Alexa, from when it was just an idea in Jeff Bezos's head to kind of building the product and shipping. I have given demos to Jeff. I have presented multiple white papers to Jeff. So it was a very rewarding experience, I would say. And actually, I wrote the white paper, which we internally call that far field paper, which actually defined, hey, if you want to build the thing that Jeff Bezos is wanting, and how will that device look like? What are the price points? What are the options? And we presented that to Jeff, and that was my first white paper presentation to Jeff. So it was again a super journey, I would say, and my leadership. I got to be a few months into my joining Amazon is when I got a chance to lead a team, and then I led a few teams focused on audio and computer vision technologies, I would say. And some of if you want to talk about learnings from this experience, I would say, for entrepreneurs out there, I mean, always come from customers, right? I mean, what were the customers? Focus on customer needs. That is one lesson that I learned from there. For example, this project that we did, we killed that after working for 3 years. We didn't pivot, kill the project and pivoted to multiple other projects. So there's one thing that you would have to look at. And if you go to industry, something doesn't work out, even in life, right? Something doesn't work out, it's okay. You pivot and then you move on. So that was one lesson that I got. I learned out of that whole experience. One more thing I would say is that, don't be afraid to take chances. See, when I joined and I was working, the whole goal for me in career was like, I'll be this principal engineer, I'll do all these great things. But someone saw something in me and gave me an opportunity to be a manager and then a leader, right? I grew up in that. So there is something right now, if I look at it, I'm so passionate about that role, right? I can make an impact to the business. At the same time, I can make impact to people, right? I'm passionate about people, their growth. So I didn't see that I could do it, right? That's even an option for me in my future, but somebody took a chance on me and gave me that thing. And then I took on. Initially, when I was very afraid. I was like, how do I do it? Oh my God, all these senior people, how do I manage them? I'm talking about earlier, 2010, 2011 timeframe. So for you too, right? I mean, if there is something, then don't be afraid to take that. You never know if you're going to like that or not, right? So I would say, please do take the chance, try it out. If it doesn't work out, you're going to leave it and you're going to go on doing something else. Yeah. So definitely, take a chance is what I would say. Subject you can have, it could be a subject that you like or maybe not like. Somebody gives you a chance. You want to try it out. What is there? No, it's one life. You guys are all, young, going into the world to do great things. Take a chance. It's okay. Even if it fails, what's a big deal, right? Take a chance. That's something that I would say. I would say, seek mentors. Okay, so earlier in the career, late in the career doesn't mean, for me, mentorship helped a lot. I have more direct and indirect mentors, right? People who can guide you, people who can give you chances. So seek mentors out. There are many people, if you seek out, they'll be more than happy to spend time for you. But I would also say that, use your time wisely. Spend enough time, அவங்ககிட்ட இருந்து என்ன கத்துக்கிறீங்க, அதை எப்படி அதை யூஸ் பண்றது, respect their time, but at the same time, so you leverage their time wisely. ஆனா you can absolutely reach out to mentors. இது எனக்கு it has helped a lot. The mentors that I got from my Cisco time, I still call them now. I can take a phone, I can actually call them and ask for advice now. And so please build that relationship with people. And so that's going to help you. That's going to help you along the way. So please do that. There was one more lesson. I think that's about it for there, right? I know, one more thing I would say in general about anything. Again, you guys are going into the industry now, right? Could be entrepreneurs, it could be, you may be joining different companies. Only one that I would also say, be connected to the big picture. Always know, இப்போ நீங்க ஏதாவது ஒரு small portion of a big project எடுத்தீங்கன்னா, then why your work, how is it connected to the big picture அப்படிங்கிறது, you seek that out. That's going to make you a better anybody, better engineer, better whatever role you take, right? So on the, you please be connected to the big picture, and you figure out how uh, your work you can impact the big picture. அது இந்த இன்னொரு advice சொல்லுவேன் நான் அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்ல இருந்து. Then after that I joined Nvidia. Again, Nvidia, I didn't hold Nvidia stocks. That's what it is. A lot of people ask me whenever they hear that I was with Nvidia, it's like, do you still have Nvidia stocks? I don't. But anyways, that was another interesting company to work for. And for me, it was great to see like the visionaries like Jensen, right, Nvidia CEO, as well as Jeff Bezos, in close quarters, how they think, how they act. It has been a lot of for me, Jensen, he actually positions the company. Now I'm talking about 2015, 16 time frame. அப்பதான் the deep learning AI was coming up, right? And the self-driving revolution was coming up. The way he positioned the company, it was just an inspiration to see how he would make others take note of Nvidia. That was amazing to see. Same with Jeff Bezos, right? I mean, I was so fortunate to kind of see him in action pretty close. Um, these are like visionaries, right? They kind of have long visions, and they can actually talk about it, and they actually can implement that. It was a pretty it was an amazing experience, I would say. Adukapro, I actually joined. I've been in the startup world after that, about 7-8 years now. I'm in the startup world. A couple of robotic startups. Both one was called Basanova Robotics, then Robust.AI. And initially I joined that as a director for looking at one portion of robotics. It was called perception. Bring the sensor, a camera. Every robot will have lots of sensors. Camera, 3D camera, so you can actually look at the depth information. So 2D and 3D cameras, different type of sensors. And the sensor input, how do you tease out information? For example, what do you see? Is it a human around you? Is there an obstacle on the path of the robot? The application சொல்லுவாங்க, and the robot or application எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுவேன், இந்த மாதிரி இந்த computer vision perception யூஸ் பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்னுட்டு. So that was my job at Basanova. Then currently I'm taking care of all of robotics. We have all the fields, all the stack in the robotics, on robot as well as the application. That's what I'm doing right now in the current company. இப்போ robots and பாத்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், so there is many pieces to the puzzle, yeah. So now I take care of software, and robotics is a multidisciplinary field, yeah. So it has hardware, பாத்தீங்கன்னா மெக்கானிக்கல், எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் கம்போனன்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும். There is hardware chip, the computer இருக்கும். There are a lot of sensors. அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ சாஃப்ட்வேர் ஸ்டாக்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா பெர்செப்ஷன் நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, சிக்னல் அந்த சுத்தி இருக்கிறது, how do you perceive what the robot sees. Then you have what is called mapping localization அப்படிம்பாங்க. அதாவது robot needs to know where it is in the world, இல்லையா, நம்மள மாதிரி தானே. So the robot, there are many. Okay, I'll probably cover that in another after this first portion. Maybe I can talk more about robotics slightly in a few more minutes. But generally வந்து robotics வந்து localization பாங்க, mapping பாங்க, perception, planning, behavior. Then you have applications on top of robotics. So I kind of handle all of that right now. It's pretty interesting field to be in at this time. That's the, and learning pathina, then I would say, always come from customers, right? What the customers' needs are. The technology could be cool, but always, there was one, if anybody is into entrepreneurship, there's one book that I read. It's about Yuri Levin at a base in a company or a co-founders, and an amazing book. Fall in love with the problem, not the solution. What is customer problem in அதை எப்படி solve பண்ணுவோம்? How do you solve that in a value? How do you add value to them at the same time make money for your own company? Yeah, so you have to crack that code. And if you don't do it, for example, Boston Robotics, and we closed the company down. But it was, the technology was way ahead of its time. The robot was too pricey. Yeah. And we were not able to show the value add very clearly. We knew the value add, but the one to showing in dollar values to the customer was tough. So the robot, it's actually getting more traction right now. Naraya money is going into the humanoid robots, and in general, AI related to robots kala naraya funding bodhe po. But Figure AI in a company, actually they are doing humanoid robots. It's like hundreds of millions of funding, a few billion dollars evaluation. So there is a lot of traction right now in robotics, I would say, for anybody who's interested in a combination of either robotics or AI as a field to take on. But yeah, that's mainly my lesson is that come from customer. Make sure it could be a cool technology, but make sure you're solving some problem for the customer. That's that. And if I want to kind of summarize my things, I would say, please do have fun. It's one life we have. Please don't forget to have fun. That's important at any stage in our life. Also, be kind to people. In the world, everything that's happening in the world, you don't know what's happening to the other person, right? So please be kind to other people, help others. And the other thing I would also say is that, be fearless. Yeah. What is there? Be fearless in this life. And I have operated in both the places, out of fear, without fear. Yeah. And the way that I perceive myself, if I operate from a fearlessness, is completely different. And you will in your life, you are going to be, you can fearless. Sometimes you will feel that. But once you catch yourself and you can your correct itself, your outlook on life is going to be completely different. So be fearless is what I would say as well. So that's kind of summarizes my background.
Super. Thank you, Kavitha. Thank you so much. Very, very diverse and very iconic companies you work for, Amazon and NVIDIA and Cisco. So obviously, very blessed to be in all these big companies. I have met Jeff Bezos at Amazon at some point back as well. Amazing person. Robotics and AI, obviously very hot topics. As you know, many of our students are now looking at careers in robotics, and of course, everybody is looking at opportunities in AI. So, can you spend a few minutes talking about what are the latest things, hottest things in AI or robotics that people should be knowing so they can direct their career towards that? Like what kind of jobs or what kind of technologies that people should be focusing on right now to leverage the opportunities out there?
But robotics, I think that it's actually a multidisciplinary field. Anybody, like, if you look at the components, right, there's how do you put together a robot, then there is mechanical components, right? So if you have electrical components, low-level software, embedded engineers, embedded software, firmware, which is close to the hardware. Adukapro on the layers, perception, and that perception is a thing that has lots of AI in it. How do you detect obstacles? How do you, detection, classification, segmentation, activity recognition? A perception, it's heavy in AI. அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி the localization mapping, a SLAM system அப்படிம்பாங்க, planning, path planning banga, route planning banga. So, and then a lot of applications you can develop on top of it. QA, you can be part of QA, program management. There's so many job opportunities in the robotics field. And so with the advent of AI, right? But AI, Vish, if you don't mind, is it possible I can just share a slide?
Yeah, sure. So please, be able to share a slide. See if you can share.
Yeah. Uh, Hold on.
Or if you can't share, you can send it to me and I can share.
It's okay. I just want to give you all a very brief introduction about robotics,
Yeah, that'll
and
be
then
good.
we can talk about the advances that are happening in AI and how do you connect them both, if it's okay.
Nice.
Sure. Mm, Give me 1 second. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, it's coming up now. Yep.
Okay. So I just put together a quick slide deck. Okay. So there's not a lot. I didn't spend a lot of time on it, so please bear with me.
Hmm.
For some people, right? I mean, what is a robot? You can call that as an autonomous or semi-autonomous system that exists in a real world, right? Which is a physical thing, which can sense the environment, and it can make some decisions on the what it has to do on the environment that it senses, and then it can act on it to achieve some goal. அது வந்து in general robotics னு சொல்லலாம்,
Hmm.
right? இப்போ again I told you it's a pretty wide, it's a multidisciplinary field. Then இப்போ நிறைய types of robot இருக்கு. இப்போ if you look at it, right, I mean industrial robot வாங்க, this was something which was earlier days as the robot was coming up, more of that was industrial arms. இப்போ நிறைய the இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல்ல வந்து இந்த robotics arm வாங்க, it can actually pick things up, move things up. ஸோ இப்படி நிறைய இந்த மெட்டீரியல் ஹேண்ட்லிங், வெல்டிங், பெயிண்டிங் எல்லாத்தையும் ஆர்ம் இருக்கும் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் robots. சரியா? இன்னொன்று வந்து செல்ஃப் டிரைவிங் வெஹிக்கிள், that's a robot too. இன்னொன்று drone, you can classify them as robots. Surgical robots, intuitive surgical, the Da Vinci system from them, pretty advanced system. Again, Mars, this is a robot. Again, Curiosity rover is a robot, right? There's underwater robotics, and the sail drone is actually close here and then the Bay Area. There are so many underwater robotics, construction robotics. It's drywall finishing robot, the canvas அப்படின்னுட்டு, building robot. There is this is warehouse robots, Locus Robotics. This one, they're doing really well on the Locus as a company. This was my company's robots. We first generation of robots. Um, Humanoids, again, which are more like a human form with arms and legs and heads, and then they can walk and manipulate objects like we do, which is arms and fingers and things like that. That's humanoids. Either on the figure AI or the robot. These guys are shipping right now.
Hmm.
And Tesla, again, Elon Musk is pretty upbeat about humanoids. We'll see.
Hmm.
Disaster recovery robots. This was by, I work, Robust.AI was co-founded by a person called Rodney Brooks. He's a pretty well-known roboticist in the world. He was a professor at MIT. He started C-Sail Lab at MIT, a few robotics companies, and this was Packbot was his robot for like disaster recovery areas. So I would say, so as you guys can see, there are so much of, there are so many things that, so many varieties of robots. Yeah. And if you look at some components which are common to it, I can say that, hold on. So there are many components, right? It's common, just so that if anybody wants to know what it entails, it has multiple sensors in the robot. For anything, any form of robot, it has cameras. It may or may not have cameras, 2D and 3D sensors, lidars, so in the ultrasound sensors, force sensing, hand touch பண்ணதான் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி. Then proprioceptors in the humanoid robot, it needs to know its own position. So IMUs இருக்கும், joint encoders இருக்கும், the hand எங்க இருக்குதுன்னு தெரியணும் இல்லையா, so that it can do something that you need to know what the state of the robot is. So proprioceptors நிறைய. And then in the sensors எல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு bucket. So it senses the state of the robot, and also senses the state of the world around the robot. Yeah. So that is sensing. And then it has to know based on what it has to do. Then there is this component of thinking, right? It actually interprets the world around it. It interprets its own state, and then it has to do something.
mm,
So, and the one, it's a lot of processing going on, a lot of AI involved in this process, right? It's like thinking. அது வந்து இன்னொரு bucket. And once it thinks and it knows what to do, there is this acting road bucket. So once it has to now act on the world to do something, it could be picking something up, it could be moving from A to B. Um, so there is this acting part, the motors, the wheels, அதுக்கு வந்து sensors, actuators, end effectors among கையில. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து actingங்கிற பார்ட்ல வரும். So that is, this whole thing is called all the pieces of robotics. Um, சரியா?
mm,
So then um, as you can see, right, in this எல்லாத்துலயும் வந்து there is, if you open up the job opportunities பாத்தீங்கன்னா, there is so much for everybody. There's a piece of pie for everyone. Software la இருக்குது, hardware la இருக்குது, electrical, anything that you want. My advice is, we'll see the advancements in பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இப்போ வந்து lot of money is going into the intersection of, as I told you, anyone talks about AI and robotics, they are getting funding. Humanoids la வந்து இப்ப நிறைய, because
mm,
it's been a, see, for decades, robotics has been there for decades. Yeah, there is slow progress happening, and humanoids have been there for a long time to slow progress. But how do you make it? How do you make it do something useful to the customers that can show ROI? Problem.
mm.
It is too slow. Can it be faster? Can it do things that it's supposed to do? But there's a lot of work still to be done. But
Yes.
there's an inflection point, right? That's in AI, there's this inflection point with transformers. Adhe mari, it is now the inflection point in making humanoids useful. There's one hot area that money is going in. Now, will it be in a state where it can absolutely be the same ROI as humans? Not there yet. But there's a lot of work going on, and I'm pretty excited about the work that is going on in that. அப்புறம் நீங்க வந்து the AI and the robots வந்து combine பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா, there are a lot of foundation models coming up in robotics.
Mm,
They are talking about uh, uh, yeah, foundation models, இருக்குது. Physical AI-ங்கிறாங்க, the AI which is applied to physical இது embodied AI-ங்கிறாங்க. So there is also, these are all the fields that are coming up in robotics related AI. அதுல வந்து நிறைய progress இருக்குது இப்போ, I would say. And if you actually look at start looking at AI அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா, then I would just give a very, all of you are probably experts in that. And then if you want to get started in robotics னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, there are not a lot of, you can do online courses இருக்குமா இருக்கும். I would say, let me see. இப்போ but online course வந்து இப்ப depending on the AI னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, there are so many courses out there. Robotics னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, depending on which field you choose, you have to seek out those kind of courses. So now, but there's not a lot of stuff available that you can get as many as AI, but at the same time there are materials available, I would say. நீங்க போய் இந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் நிறைய இந்த கோர்ஸ் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் வந்து they actually make it available. அங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க if you want to start. And if there are any online courses, you can start probably taking. இன்னொன்னு வந்து அந்த நிறைய அந்த robotic kits கிடைக்கும், அந்த Arduino kits and the Raspberry Pi kits எல்லாம் இருக்கும். அதுல வந்து you can get your hands dirty. But if you really are looking at deep learning for robotics, now that we'll cover that. That are so many free tools available that you can use. That probably I'll touch it slightly later. இப்போ AI னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, then let me see. Hold on. Hold on, please. All right, it should be coming up anytime now. So again, this is again a definition I got from ChatGPT, but I'm just saying, AI, it generally it refers to creating algorithms and systems in general, software, which enable machines to simulate human-like abilities. இப்போ That's in general, we can call that as artificial intelligence, right? It can be in problem solving, perception, reasoning, learning, decision making. இது மாதிரி நிறைய buckets இருக்கு இல்லையா? So human like abilities, can it actually simulate that using some kind of algorithms? That you can classify in general as artificial intelligence. Yeah. And then if you look at, this is something that, again, இப்போ இன் ஜென்ரல் இப்போ வேர்ல்ட்ல வந்து இப்போ ஏஐன்னு பேசினாங்கன்னா, லாட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் தேர் இஸ் திஸ் திங் அபவுட் ஏஜிஐ, ரைட்? ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் ஜென்ரல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் அப்படிம்பாங்க. லெட் மீ டூ த ஸ்லைட்ஸ் ஆன் திஸ். கிவ் மீ ஒன் செகண்ட். So they talk about artificial general intelligence. அப்படின்னா வந்து human like cognitive abilities. That is long way off. Again, it's just my opinion. I know a lot of people are pretty upbeat about this, but my humble opinion is that we are way off from this. But that's okay. That's kind of how it's going to be. We'll make progress on that. But you know, it's. I don't know if we can achieve this in our lifetime. அப்படிங்கிறது என்னுடைய ஹம்பிள் ஒப்பீனியன். பட் ஏஜிஐங்கிறது வந்து இட்ஸ் ஜென்ரல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ், ஹியூமன் லைக் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ். யூ கேன் டூ எவ்ரி திங் லைக் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங், லேர்னிங், ரீசனிங், ப்ராப்ளம் சால்விங் அக்ராஸ் so many different domains like human being. அது ஏஜிஐம்பாங்க. But what I am excited about is this, which is, you know, AI as a tool. So it's called narrow AI in vachikkalame. So can I use AI to do a very specific task or a set of tasks? Yeah. So that it has make a lot of progress, right? But ChatGPT, Alexa, Siri, recommendation systems, these are some examples that I was thinking about. So, you know, something which is very specific at a set of tasks, when they're using AI, it's actually just narrow AI tools. This is making a lot of, you know, progress, and a lot, I mean, there is a lot of tools that are there to do. Yeah. So there's a lot of progress, and I'm pretty excited about where we are right now. Yeah. So there is an inflection point, as you all know, with the transformer based architecture and large language model one, only that's an inflection point that actually kick-started so many innovation around that. And you know, speech la inda aarambichது, text la inda aarambichது, adukapra you can actually add images, you can add videos. There's, you know, kind of just multimodal bangalya, different modalities of which then you can have large foundation models create பண்றது அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து. So there's so much of innovation going on there. So that is that. So again, I'm pretty sure most of you know, but in general what I want to talk about is AI-ங்கிற பெரிய பக்கெட்ல வந்து மெஷின் லேர்னிங்கிறது இட்ஸ் ஏ பக்கெட். அந்த மெஷின் லேர்னிங்கிற பக்கெட்டுக்கு உள்ள வந்து டீப் லேர்னிங்ல இருக்கும். ஸோ தட்ஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ஹவ் இட் இஸ் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ட் இல்லையா? இப்போ மெஷின் லேர்னிங் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ நிறைய அதுல வந்து இட்ஸ் ஓகே, லெட் மீ சி. ஐ திங்க் ஐ ஹாவ் அ டெஃபினிஷன் தட் ஐ அகேன் யூஸ்வலா என்னன்னா மெஷின் லேர்னிங் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் டேட்டா இருக்கு இல்லையா? அந்த டேட்டா வந்து கேன் யூ ஃபைண்ட் பேட்டர்ன்ஸ் வித் இன் த டேட்டா, and then you can actually predict something out of it, or you can infer something out of it. Yeah. Suppose SVM banga, support vector machine, linear regression, clustering, இதெல்லாம் வந்து சில மெத்தட்ஸ் தட் கம் அண்டர் மெஷின் லேர்னிங் அஸ் அ பக்கெட். அதுக்குள்ளேயே வந்து டீப் லேர்னிங்னு இன்னொரு டெக்னிக் இருக்கும். வாட் இஸ் தட் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் யூசஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள். நீங்க உள்ள போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா டீப் லேர்னிங் வந்து the math is pretty simple. I don't want to say it's very simple, but you know, the building block la வந்து simple building blocks. So it is a network or an algorithm which kind of mimics how the neurons work, the brain works. The deep learning banga. இப்போ மெஷின் லேர்னிங்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா you require the feature engineering banga, which the deep learning does not require. For example, if there is a set of data, you might want to look at what are some of the important features that I want out of this data. And the data analyze panni, and the features analyze panni, then you make decisions out of it. சரிங்களா? ML-ங்கிறது. Deep learning-ங்கிறது, for example, இது வந்து linear regression. I just wanted to show you guys. If the data X and Y இருந்ததுன்னா, can I actually have a model fitted to this so that I can actually predict a variable based on, you know, I can predict Y based on any new value of X. அவ்வளவுதான். ரொம்ப the concepts are simple. Clustering பாங்க, இப்போ டேட்டா கொடுத்துட்டாங்க, can I find some way of clustering the data so that if a new data comes in, I can figure out which cluster it belongs to. இதெல்லாம் வந்து simple examples for machine learning. இதே இது வந்து டீப் லேர்னிங்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா it requires large data sets, unstructured data ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணலாம், ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் டேட்டா வந்து நல்லா ஹேண்டில் பண்ணும். Oh my God, it's beautiful to see how it, what it can learn. நிறைய அந்த மெத்தட்ஸ்ன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா கன்வல்யூஷன் நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க்கும்பாங்க, ரெக்கரண்ட் நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க்கும்பாங்க, டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர்பாங்க. ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆர்கிடெக்சர்ஸ் தட் கம் வித் இன் டீப் லேர்னிங் அஸ் அ பக்கெட். சரிங்களா? இப்போ again, for somebody who's kind of looking at deep learning, I'll just take probably a couple of minutes, right? It's there is this thing, right, Vish, about, hey, where do I start, right? என்னோட அட்வைஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னா, அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் த பேசிக்ஸ். It is so, there is the world வந்து இந்த there is so much of things happening in this world, but it's important for you to know the basics. கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க. Then என்ன ஆகும்னா, once you kind of know the basic bounding, the building blocks, எவ்வளோ நியூ திங்ஸ் வந்தாலும் you can easily follow that. இப்போ இந்த மல்டி லேயர் பெர்செப்ட்ரான்ங்கிறது வந்து இட்ஸ் பேசிக் பில்டிங் பிளாக் ஃபார் டீப் லேர்னிங், இல்லையா? இட் ஜஸ்ட் மிமிக்ஸ் த ஹோல் திங் வந்து இந்த டாட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து they call that as neurons, right? It's similar to neurons in your brain. இப்போ நியூரான்ஸ் இந்த பிரெயின்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா, each of the neuron is connected to so many other neurons, இல்லையா? And then this neuron is connected to all these neurons. This neuron is connected to all these neurons. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி, so it kind of mimics that. உள்ள நீங்க வந்து அந்த என்ன உள்ள நடக்குதுன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, so simple. இது என்ன பண்ணும்னா, இந்த let's say take this example, right? இது என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, இதோட அவுட்புட், இந்த நியூரானோட அவுட்புட்டை எடுத்து it multiplies by what is called a weight. And இந்த நியூரானோட அவுட்புட் எடுத்து இன்னொரு வெயிட், இந்த நியூரான் எடுத்து இன்னொரு வெயிட் வச்சு மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணி எல்லாத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணும். And then it adds a term called bias. அதுக்கப்புறம் it sends it through a very simple activation function, பாங்க, ஒரு non-linear function. அதுல you just y equal to f of x, that x is the summation of all these things, right? That's it. So it passes through what is called an activation function. அதோட அவுட்புட் வருது. இதே மாதிரி இது பண்ணும். இது என்ன பண்ணும், இதை வந்து இந்த அவுட்புட் எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் வெயிட்ஸை வந்து மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணி ஆட் பண்ணிக்கும். பயஸ் டெர்ம் ஆட் பண்ணும், ஒரு நான்லீனியர் ஃபங்க்ஷன்ல அனுப்பும், அவுட்புட் வருது. Then each of these are connected to so many other neurons. And finally they're connected to a few outputs. இல்ல ஒரே ஒரு அவுட்புட் காமிச்சிருக்குது, few outputs இருக்கும், அவ்வளவுதான். ஸோ இந்த வெயிட்ஸ் இருக்குது இல்லையா, இந்த வெயிட்ஸ் தான் வந்து once you learn the weights and those weights are optimized for the specific task, அதுதான் வந்து ட்ரைனிங் பாங்க. ட்ரெயின் பண்ணி முடிச்ச உடனே இந்த வெயிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆயிரும். So the whole point is, how do you learn the weights? Once you learn the weights, நீங்க என்ன இன்புட் கொடுத்தாலும் அந்த சேம் வெயிட்ஸ் will work and give the right output. அதான் வந்து கான்செப்ட். இப்போ I don't know if I have, ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க. இப்போ இந்த மை ஃபீல்டு வந்து மோஸ்ட்லி ஆன் விஷன், கேமரா இன்புட்ல இருந்து என்ன டீஸ் அவுட் பண்ணலான்னு. இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இமேஜ் கொடுத்து, இந்த டீப் லேர்னிங் மாடலை கொடுத்து, I can actually ask the model to say, give me a bounding box around where the cars are. So இந்த காருங்கிறது வந்து the output, சரிங்களா? So if I give this input and the output should be bounding box ஓட coordinate systems, அப்படி நிறைய பவுண்டிங் பாக்ஸ் கோஆர்டினேட் சிஸ்டம் வந்து it can output. இன்னொரு விதமானு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த ஒரு பிக்சரை கொடுத்து இட்ஸ் a dog or a cat ன்னு பண்ணீங்கன்னா, அந்த மாடலை ட்ரெயின் பண்ணீங்கன்னா it can actually produce a right output. சரிங்களா? So that's about it. But இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் வந்து பில்டிங் பிளாக்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மல்டி லேயர் பெர்செப்ட்ரான் பாங்க. And then what they look at it is, இது எப்படி ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, you have enough inputs. For example, இது ஒரு மெத்தட் ஆஃப் ட்ரைனிங். ஓகே, இந்த இன்புட்டை வந்து யூ மார்க் இட் டு சே, ஹே, இது ஒரு கிரவுண்ட் ட்ரூத் அப்படிம்பாங்க. யூ மார்க் வாட் யூ வாண்ட் டு டூ அண்ட் தென் யூ ட்ரெயின் த நெட்வொர்க் வித் இட். ஸோ யூ சே தட் திஸ் இஸ் வேர் த கார் இஸ், திஸ் இஸ் வேர் அ பஸ் இஸ், அண்ட் யூ ஃபீட் தட் அஸ் இன்புட் டு த நெட்வொர்க். சரிங்களா? இந்த நெட்வொர்க் வந்து ஸ்லைட்லி டிஃப்ரெண்டா இருக்கும். லெட்ஸ் ஃபர்கெட் அபவுட் தட். In some way you transfer any input. It could be an image, it could be a text. அதை வந்து நம்பரா மாத்தி, and we'll talk about that later. அந்த இன்புட்டா கொடுத்து, you know exactly what the output is. You expect the output. இனிஷியலா வெயிட் எல்லாம் ரேண்டமா இருக்கும். இப்போ நீங்க இன்புட் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த ரேண்டம் வெயிட்டுக்குள்ள போய் some random output வரும். அப்போ பட் யூ நோ த ஆக்சுவல் அவுட்புட், இல்லைங்களா, ட்ரெயின் பண்ணும்போது. ஸோ யூ ஃபைண்ட் த டிஃபரன்ஸ். அது காஸ்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன் அப்படிம்பாங்க. அந்த 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 அவுட்புட், தப்பான அவுட்புட்டை எடுத்து அது எவ்வளவு ராங்கா இருக்கோ அதை வந்து பேக் ப்ராபகேஷன் பாங்க, அதை வச்சுக்கிட்டு இந்த இந்த வெயிட்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் ஸ்லைட்லி அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. That thing is called gradient descent. One of the methods is called gradient descent. Okay, நிறைய மெத்தட் இருக்கு. அப்படி then they give one more input, one more known output. தப்பா, then weights will be wrong still. தப்பான அவுட்புட், you get the output, you train it back. அப்படியே thousands of times all the input கொடுத்து multiple times திருப்பி 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 கொடுத்து ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல வந்து இந்த வெயிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஃப்ரீஸ் ஆயிரும். அப்போது உங்க உங்க நெட்வொர்க் வந்து ட்ரெயின் ஆயிருச்சுன்னு அர்த்தம். ஸோ தட்ஸ் அ very high level thing about this particular network. Apro, then you have to learn about how do you train a machine learning system, right? The supervised learning banga, unsupervised learning banga, reinforcement learning banga. Nama paathathu vandu supervised learning, giving enough known input. Seringla. அப்புறம் வந்து இன்னொன்னு என்ன சொல்றோம்னா, then that's one building block. ML அந்த மல்டி லேயர் பெர்செப்ட்ரான்ங்கிறது வந்து ஒரு பில்டிங் பிளாக். அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், ஓ இப்போ ஸ்பீச் இருக்குது, டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்குது, இமேஜ் இருக்குது, இதெல்லாம் இன்புட், டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்புட்ஸ். அதை எல்லாத்தையும் யூ ஹாவ் டு கன்வெர்ட் இன்டு சம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் நம்பர், ஸோ யூ கேன் ஃபீட் இன்டு திஸ் அல்கரிதம் இல்லையா. அதுக்கு வந்து தென் மக்கள் ஸ்டார்டட் யூசிங், ஓ இது எப்படி யூஸ் பண்றது, இப்போ ஸ்பீச் டெக்ஸ்ட் அப்படின்னா இட் நீட்ஸ் கான்டெக்ட் இல்லையா, ஒரு வேர்டுக்கும் இன்னொரு வேர்டுக்கும் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கு. ஸோ யூ நீட் சம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் மெமரி. அப்புறம் அதை இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணாங்க மெதுவா. இமேஜுக்கு வந்து ஓ ஒரு பீஸ் ஆஃப் இமேஜ் இஸ் ரிலேட்டட் டு தி அதர் பீஸ் ஆஃப் இமேஜ், அது எப்படி நம்ம வந்து அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்பை கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது அப்படின்ட்டு ஸ்லைட்டா இந்த நெட்வொர்க் வந்து சேஞ்ச் ஆகி தட்ஸ் காட் பில்ட் ஆன் டாப் ஆஃப் இட். சரிங்களா? ஸோ that's about it. Anything I can answer till this, because after this I'm gonna,
I think it's quite good, quite detailed, and quite educational actually. I think a lot of people would benefit from knowing how this whole thing works. Now it looks like magic to people generally, but now at least we can see a little bit more of what the inside looks like. Let me go to see if people have questions. Just open up the question session, Kavitha. So the first question is, can you elaborate more on automation in manufacturing? Mr. Ramakrishnan, do you want to ask a question? What do you mean by your question?
Yeah, good evening. This is Ramakrishnan from 1974 Mechanical. I worked in few industries like BHEL, etc. Okay, so one basic question that came from BML and is mostly on automation in, say manufacturing. See, particularly the plant layout. See, there is a lot of waste is coming. It has to be removed by a robot. The machine, when you do machining, and the scrap they spend a lot of time. The operator waits for those cleaning. And the second question is something like this, no simple thing like the civil construction, where the plastering guy has not come and the painting guy has not come. I see many apartments struggling because of the one painting contractor who supplies 500 painters. So I just wanted to know how this automation can be helpful in those areas.
நிறைய அந்த டிரைவால், நிறைய ரோபோட் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுது, இந்த டிரைவால் ஃபினிஷிங்கெல்லாம் வந்து they have started to automate that. நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, அந்த கேன்வஸ்ங்கிற ஒரு கம்பெனி இருக்குது, அதே ஸ்டார்ட் அப் லுக்கிங் அட் ஃபினிஷிங் அப் டிரைவால் யூசிங் ரோபாட்ஸ். அந்த மாதிரி there are companies that are coming up to do automation in those. But எல்லாத்தையும், yeah, so there are a few companies who are starting to think about automation there. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து wrap remove பண்ணனும் அப்படின்னா maybe there are some mobile robots. அது வந்து it can come, you can, if possible, if somebody can actually move things into the robot, it can take it away and then put it somewhere else. If you really want to manipulate and take things, then you need arms, robotic arms to take it and put it on something. Yeah. And the mari, there are automation things you can look at, but also please make sure that automation makes sense for you and then the price makes sense for you.
Right. But the programming, what subject you need to learn so that to do that, particularly that particular factory maintenance or sweeping, all those things, there will be somebody who knows that, who will be doing it manually. Adukku enna machine learning or deep learning, what is the subject to be learned?
நான் சொன்னேன், ரொபாட்டிக்ஸ்ங்கிறது இட்ஸ் பெட்டி மல்டி டிசிப்ளினரி சப்ஜெக்ட். அப்போ நீங்க வந்து நிறைய வேணும். இப்போ நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, மெக்கானிக்கல் கம்போனன்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது, சாஃப்ட்வேரும் இருக்குது. So there are so many pieces after something. So, but it depends on if you are buying a solution from somebody, and you don't need to know all these things to operate that robot. Yeah, so there are
Okay,
two
okay,
different
okay.
things. நீங்களா வந்து
Uh,
அதை பில் பண்றீங்களா இல்ல நீங்க வந்து அந்த
yeah,
சொல்யூஷனை யூஸ் பண்றீங்கிறத பொறுத்து. If you want to use it, you
okay.
don't need to know any of these things, but if you want to work on it, then yes, depending on your
Yeah.
interest in which field.
Now, if you can give me the few companies which work in the US on those topics, it will be
Mm,
very helpful.
sure,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. Thank you very much. It's a nice
yeah,
session.
yeah, thank you. And
Satyan,
Satyan.
Satyan, you have a question? You can unmute and ask the
No,
question.
I don't have a question. Hey, Kavitha, good to see you. Wish.
Hey Satyan, என்னப்பா? Is my classmate.
We are
Like
class. Hey, Kavitha, and the video boxing panel, I used to use something called YOLO. You look only once, Sabrina.
ஆமாப்பா,
YOLO
ஆமா.
coding வந்து ஜேம்ஸ் ஒன் படத்தெல்லாம் வந்து டேக் பண்ணாங்க. So I used that at UPS for identifying. அதுக்கப்புறம் I moved out.
Okay, okay. Yeah, YOLO only, it's one of the deep learning models
அதெல்லாம்
for.
இப்ப இருக்கானே தெரியாது. 5 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி பண்ணான் அதெல்லாம்.
ஆமா, இப்போ வந்து YOLO வந்து it's still being used in production. இப்போ வந்து they have different V8ங்கறாங்க, V11ங்கறாங்க. So the different versions are coming up. YOLO itself. Yeah, it's still being used, still in production.
Good, good, good.
how,
பரவாயில்ல,
Satyan,
super.
Satyan, how are you doing? Long time no see.
I'm doing good. I was smiling when the other person asked her for a robot for painting because I've been bugging Kavitha to send me a sanitation robot. She's evading me.
Yeah,
There is
I sent him the information. அடி வாங்க பாரு. I
there
sent
is
him the information.
that,
Okay,
but there is
I'll
Satyan,
follow.
அது
there is a
வாங்கி கண்டக்ட் விட்டான். Yeah.
there is a company that Gindi Alumni Angels has invested in. It's a robotic company mainly meant for doing cleaning in hospitality industry. That company
Oh,
actually is we invested in that company, a startup company in California.
Wish,
Yeah.
reach out to me because I am looking for commercial cleaning, sanitation. Because I left UPS. I'm doing something different. I'm the CEO for Baldor. There we
Understood.
manage warehouses. So I'm looking for efficient and elegant cleaning things.
Yeah, this company actually makes robots for doing cleaning of hospitality, like hotels and places, commercial cleaning for hotels and other places. They are a small company, but we invested in them, doing extremely well. They're growing really very fast, and
Okay.
I can give you
We'll
information, and you can probably sign up with them for something. They'll be happy to have you as a customer, I'm sure.
No problem. We'll connect offline. I don't want to hijack Kavitha's session.
Yeah.
Kavitha, good to see you.
Hey, good
Just
to see
for-
you.
We wanted to say hi to you. Yeah.
Yeah. இன்னொன்னு வந்து பிரெயின் கார்ப், that's one I sent it to you, Satyan. பிரெயின் கார்ப், they were எங்களோட காம்படிட்டரா இருந்தாங்க வால்மார்ட்ல, but they have actually the floor cleaning stuff. That was one of their thing. They actually started in Walmart. They still have that. So அதான் உனக்கு லிங்க் அனுப்பி கொடுத்தேன், நீ பார்க்காத. But anyways.
நான் போய் பார்க்கறேன், திரும்பி பார்க்கறேன் Kavitha. Sorry. Hey,
Super.
guys, Kavitha is my classmate. We are good friends.
Thank you. So super. Nice for joining. Next question is about someone. Do you have any tips on how to find and connect mentors? Whoever asked the question, can you ask the question saying what context you're asking it? You can unmute and ask the question. It's anonymous, so I don't know who was asking the question.
Yeah, hi. So I asked the question.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, again, like Kavitha said, there's robotics. It's a very wide, industry. So, so finding a mentor is also a little difficult, given and also connecting with them is also a little difficult. If you already know someone, if you're working in the industry, then it is a little easier. But you're trying to break into the industry, it's a little difficult to find and connect with mentors properly. So, any tips or tricks you have to break through?
So you're looking for a mentor in robotics.
Yes.
So I think maybe Kavitha can see if she can help or she can refer someone who can help.
Exactly. Yeah. So just ping me, and I can maybe seniors, people you might know, ping people who might know people. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to connect, either whatever I can do to help you, or if there is something that you're interested, that I'm not for example, electrical, mechanical enta kettingna எனக்கு சுத்தமா தெரியாது. So if you ask me, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சவங்க யாருன்னா, I can actually connect with you. So I'll be more than happy to do that for you.
That's the main objective of this program, is exactly this, for people who are looking for people to help and people who are willing to help, to make them connect. So this is exactly what we want to see in the program, people looking to help. So now he is this person wants to get help from you, if you can reach out to them. So, Kavitha, for people to be able to connect with you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me.
So your
Yeah,
your LinkedIn profile is already published in the announcement of the program. So people who wants to connect with Kavitha, you can just send a connect request to Kavitha via LinkedIn. And I think Sabari, if you want to do the same thing, you can send the LinkedIn request to Dr. Kavitha, and she can help you with your question.
Yeah,
Are you Sabari? Are you a student or an alumni?
yeah, I'm currently working here in the US. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're working in the area of robotics?
Yeah, currently here I'm working as a contractor where I kind of am reworking a company's current manufacturing line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Super. Super. Thank you. Lisha Bharati, do you want to ask your question? Lisha Bharati. Please unmute and ask your question, please.
Ma'am, what are the basic parts we can develop a robot using that?
What kind of robot? What kind of robot are you wanting to build? Because it's a very general question. So, if you can say what you're trying to build, then maybe Kavitha can answer you.
நீங்களா இப்ப பில் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா இல்ல மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் கம்பெனிஸ்ல இன் ஜெனரல் என்னெல்லாம் கம்போனன்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா?
நாங்களே பில் பண்றதுக்கு பேசிக்கா தேவைப்படுற காம்பனன்ட்ஸ் மேம்.
ஆக்சுவலா அந்த ராஸ்பெரி பை கிட்லாம் கிடைக்கும். நீங்க ஆக்சுவலா அதை வாங்கி ட்ரை பண்ணிப்பா. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் வித் தோஸ். தேர் ஆர் கிட்ஸ் தட் ஆர் அவைலபிள், ரொபாட்டிக் கிட்ஸ். நீங்க சர்ச் பண்ணி பாருங்க. அதுல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. Then you can actually look at then that will actually expose you to putting together a robot parts.
Lisa,
பேசிக்கா இருக்க பார்ட்ஸ் சொல்ல முடியுமா மேம்?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, can you share it, please? Yeah.
Lisa, are you a student?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which department are you studying, ma?
First year mechanicals.
Oh, wow. Okay. Already interested in building a robot. Very nice. Very nice.
Super.
Do you have any particular robot you're trying to build? Anything you're trying to achieve?
Yes, sir. Underwater robot which cleans the algae to eradicate the waste materials.
Amazing.
Floating on water.
Unbelievable. Excellent. Excellent. Actually, let me tell you an experience. I was in Prayag last 3 weeks in Mahakumbh. And Mahakumbh, what they're doing is they're using underwater robots to clean the water where they're taking bath. They actually had innovations, and they had multiple underwater robots doing the cleaning real time. You couldn't see them when you're there, but actually I went and met the people who were actually operating there. It is really cool to see that they had multiple robots which were built, which were industrial robots, which were trying to eliminate all the waste from the water while everybody is there in the water. So it's like operating at a deeper level and doing that. So good that you're trying to build things that are useful, ma. I think you will definitely encourage you guys to, beyond just studying, should also try out these things. Very nice. What do you say,
can I know we're almost out of time, but can I also, I know there was a question about, advancements in AI and things like that, and where they can start. If I can spend like a few minutes on it, and then I'll take more questions after that.
Sure.
Okay. So, வந்து இப்போ robotics பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, advancements பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, but AI ல வந்து again, as I said, there is an inflection point இல்லையா. For the transformers, with that, and the large language models, அதுல இருந்து இப்போ நிறைய, it's such a every day something new is coming up. Yeah. So, but if you want to kind of keep in to touch with that, to follow that அப்படின்னா நான் I would say again, get your hands dirty, understand the basics. That is super super important. நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, இப்போ இந்த மல்டிலேயர் பெர்செப்ட்ரான்ங்கிறத புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. வேற அது எப்படி ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுது, you don't have to go into the math, but at least இது வந்து காஸ்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன், they will talk about காஸ்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன், you need to know காஸ்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷனா என்ன, பேக் ப்ரொபகேஷனா என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது. again once you do that, okay, it's inferenceம்பாங்க. அப்படின்னா once you kind of freeze the model, just sending the new input and through the model and getting output, the terms எல்லாம் புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. அடுத்து வந்து இப்போ டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், the whole idea வந்து வேர்ட் எம்பெட்டிங் அப்படிம்பாங்க. அதாவது வேர்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, டெக்ஸ்ட் நீங்க டைப் பண்றீங்க இல்லையா, ஸோ அந்த டெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து they embed that in a high dimensional space, they represent that in numbers for vectors. Okay, every word will be embedded as a vector. அது எப்படி பியூட்டினா, அந்த வேர்டு எம்பெட் பண்ணாங்கன்னா it will be embedded in such a way that this relationship between the words are maintained in some kind of relationship. ரொம்ப ஈஸி எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து if you study வந்து கிங் மேன், குவீன், உமன், ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து they have relationship இல்லையா, அதெல்லாம் வந்து மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுவாங்க. if you take a vector, they say that if you take a king, you minus man, you add a woman, you should get queen. புரியுதுங்களா? so in a word, so this is called embedding. word வந்து ஒரு high dimensional spaceல embed in such a way that there is relationship between them or maintained. You don't teach it, there is a network, deep learning network, which does it for you. அது வந்து embedding. you need to know that word embeddingங்கிறது ஒரு கான்செப்ட். அடுத்து அதுக்கு மேல என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா சீக்வன்ஸ் டு சீக்வன்ஸ் மாடலிங் அப்படிம்பாங்க. இதே நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க் தான். நீங்க உள்ள போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த பெர்செப்ட்ரான அதை வந்து எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. கான்செப்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் சிமிலர், பட் they look at once you give one sequence, அதை வந்து எய்தர் இப்போ டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனா இருக்கலாம், கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சரா இருக்கலாம், சீக்வன்ஸ் டு சீக்வன்ஸ் மாடலிங் வாங்க. அதுக்கு இன்புட் என்னது, வேர்ட் எம்பெட்டிங். சரிங்களா? ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தட் கான்செப்ட். எப்படி சீக்வன்ஸ் டு சீக்வன்ஸ் ஒர்க் ஆகுது அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ இந்த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர், அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணாங்க, அது வந்து முன்னாடி LSTMனு ஒரு மாடல் இருக்கு, அதெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. இட் ஹேட் சம் இட்ஸ் ஓன் இஷ்யூஸ். அதுக்கப்புறம் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் வந்து கந்தது. ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ ப்ரோக்ரஷன். The moment they found transformers and the capacity that it unleashes, then that's an inflection point. அப்ப அந்த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர்ல என்ன பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா, you need to understand the concept of self attention பாங்க. ஒவ்வொரு வேர்டுக்கும் வந்து in a sentence வந்து what is relationship of every word in a sentence to every other word in a sentence. attention பாங்க அது. சரிங்களா? So you know the probability or relationship of one word with the others. அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ங்கிறது வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கலாம். அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, மல்டி ஹெட் அட்டென்ஷன் பாங்க. சரிங்களா? அட்டென்ஷன், மல்டி ஹெட் அட்டென்ஷன் அப்படிம்பாங்க. அப்புறம் பொசிஷனல் என்கோடிங் பாங்க. அப்படின்னா அந்த வேர்டு, இந்த சென்டென்ஸ்ல வந்து ஒவ்வொரு வேர்டு இருக்குது இல்லையா, த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் ஆஃப் ஒன் வேர்ட் டு தி அதர் எந்த பொசிஷன்ல இருக்குது, அட்டென்ஷன் தெரியுது, பட் எந்த பொசிஷன்ல இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது பொசிஷனல் என்கோடிங் பாங்க. ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் வேர்ட்ஸ். நீங்க ரொம்ப டீப்பா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணணும் அவசியம் கிடையாது. அட்லீஸ்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் த கான்செப்ட்ஸ். அப்படி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா வேர்ட் எம்பெட்டிங் இருக்குது, அதுக்கப்புறம் பொசிஷனல் எம்பெட்டிங் இருக்குது, செல்ஃப் அட்டென்ஷன் இருக்குது. இந்த நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க் தான் உள்ள போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா மேத் எல்லாம் சும்மா இந்த மாதிரி இந்த நியூரல் நெட்வொர்க் தான் வந்து பிளாக்ஸா யூஸ் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. சரிங்களா? ஸோ இதெல்லாம் புட் டுகெதர் கெட்ஸ் அ டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர். then it starts to how the அது என்ன சீக்வன்ஸ் டு சீக்வன்ஸ் அண்ட் ஒர்க் ஆகுதுன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, then you understand if you ask a question how the model starts to generate answer. then ChatGPT என்ன பண்ணுது, you answer a question, it starts to generate answers இல்லையா? then you know the way it generates answers. ஒவ்வொரு வேர்டா வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது it actually looks at encoder decoder attention go. ஒவ்வொரு வேர்டை ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்குள்ள என்ன ரிலேஷன்ஷிப், அந்த வேர்டுக்கும் என்கோடர் அந்த கொஸ்டின் கேட்டதுக்கும் என்ன ரிலேஷன்ஷிப், இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து இந்த எம்பெட்டிங் வேர்ல்ட்ல இருந்து பார்த்து, so it kind of combines all of them and starts producing answers for you. so நான் என்ன சொல்வேன் அப்படின்னா, அது வந்து இப்போ டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர்ங்கிற ஒரு ஆர்கிடெக்சர் இல்லையா. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா, உட்காந்து துண்டை போட்டு யோசிச்சாங்களா, என்னடா இது இந்த ரொம்ப சூப்பரா இருக்குது, இதை வந்து எப்படி நான் வந்து இப்போ இமேஜுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றது அப்படின்னு யோசிச்சாங்க. then came vision transformer. அது என்ன பண்ணும்னா, இமேஜை வந்து it takes it into chunks. இமேஜை சங்கா பண்ணி ஒவ்வொரு சங்கையும் வேர்டா யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கும். சென்டென்ஸ் இருக்குதுல்ல, வேர்டு வந்து வருது இல்ல, அதே மாதிரி இமேஜை வந்து பீஸா ஆக்கி அதை வந்து தே லுக் அட் யூஸ் த சேம் அது பேர் என்ன டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் ஆர்கிடெக்சர், பட் தே யூஸ் இமேஜ் சங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் தட். அது விஷன் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் அப்படின்னு வந்துச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணாங்க, எனக்கு வந்து வீடியோ வேணும் அப்படிங்கும் போது என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா, they use chunks, spatial attention, then they look at temporal attention. சரியா? ஸோ வீடியோனா என்னது, இமேஜ் ஃப்ரேம் பை ஃப்ரேமா வருது. ஸோ என்ன பண்றாங்க, இதே மாதிரி தான் they use transformer architecture, but they actually look at images and sequence of images. புரிஞ்சுதா? பட் என்ன அடியில் என்ன இருக்குது, இட் இஸ் ஸ்டில் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் பேஸ்ட் ஆர்கிடெக்சர். அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணாங்க, மல்டி மாடல். யூ வில் சி தட். இப்போ லேட்டஸ்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா மல்டி மாடல் மாடல்பாங்க. அப்படின்னா என்னது, நீங்க அந்த வீடியோ இருக்கும், டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்கும், வீடியோ இருக்கும், சாரி டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்கும், இமேஜ் இருக்கும். ஹவு டு யூ கம்பைன் தெம்? கிரியேட் அன் இமேஜ் வித் ரெட் வாட் எவர் அப்படின்னு கேட்டான்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஃபிஷ் அப்படின்னா இட் நீட்ஸ் டு நோ வாட் அ ஃபிஷ் இஸ், இட் நீட்ஸ் டு combine word with the image. Same thing, same transformer based architecture. அந்த இன்புட்டை எடுத்து ஒவ்வொன்றத்தையும் தனித்தனியா எம்பெட் பண்ணுது. And then it finds relationship between them. It learns relationship in the embedded world. புரியுதுங்களா? So the explosion பாத்தீங்கன்னா then it multimodal. இப்போ ரோபாட்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா multimodal models வந்து it uses speech. The figure AI பாத்தீங்கன்னா you can actually tell the robot to say, hey, pick the one edible thing on a table அப்படிம்பாங்க. ஸோ டேபிள்ல நிறைய ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இருந்ததுன்னா வாட் இஸ் அன் எடிபிள் திங் அப்படின்னு அந்த மாடலுக்கு தெரியணும். தென் அந்த ரோபாட் வந்து அந்த 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 போய் அந்த எடிபிள் திங்கை எடுத்து எங்கேயாவது வைக்கணும் இல்லைங்களா? ஸோ ரோபாட்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ அந்த மல்டி மாடல்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா விஷன், கேமரா இன்புட்டு, ஸ்பீச்சு, IMU டேட்டா இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்றாங்க, தெர்மல் டேட்டா இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்றாங்க, டெப்த் இமேஜ் இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்றாங்க, இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்றாங்க. எல்லா மாடல் ஆஃப் டேட்டாவையும் தே டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்ம் இன் சச் a way that it can fall into the tokens. The பீஸா சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, வேர்டை வந்து டோக்கன் சொல்லலாம், அந்த பீஸ் ஆஃப் தி இமேஜ் வந்து டோக்கன் சொல்லலாம். டோக்கனைஸ் பண்ணி இந்த பொசிஷன் எம்போர்டிங் பண்ணி எல்லாத்தையும் கம்பைன் பண்ணி ஸ்டில் தே யூஸ் த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் as a பேசிக் ஆர்கிடெக்சர். அதுதான் இந்த எக்ஸ்ப்ளோஷன். இட்ஸ் லைக் சோ மெனி திங்ஸ் ஆர் கமிங் அப். அப்புறம் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல்ஸ்பாங்க. அப்படின்னு ஒன்றும் கிடையாதுங்க. ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல்னா அந்த மாடலை யூ ட்ரெயின் இட் வித் சோ a variety of data. Like deep learning வந்து ஒரு thousands of data கொடுக்கணும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. Now you're actually talking about millions of data points or billions of data points வச்சு ட்ரெயின் பண்றாங்க. அதுதான் வந்து, and it doesn't have to do one specific thing. It actually can be a generic model for doing multiple things. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து இப்போ இதே மாதிரி ரோபாட்டிக்ஸ் விஷன் பாத்தீங்கன்னா டிடெக்ஷன், செக்மெண்டேஷன், கிளாசிபிகேஷன், ஆக்டிவிட்டி ரெகக்னிஷன், அப்ப எல்லாத்தையும் பண்ணலாம். இப்போ ஒரு ஜெனரிக் மாடல் அது வந்து ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல்பாங்க. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் இப்போ வந்து அந்த ஹெல்த்துக்கு வந்து ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறாங்க, ரோபாட்டுக்கு வந்து ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல்ங்கிறாங்க. இப்படி நிறைய ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மாடல் இஸ் சம்திங் விச் இஸ் பில்ட் ஆன் டாப், விச் இஸ் அ கான்செப்ட் விச் இஸ் ரிலேட்டட் டு திஸ். சரிங்களா? ஸோ அப்புறம் வந்து எம்பாடிட் AI அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. இப்போ எம்பாடிட் AI அப்படின்னா ரோபாட்டிக்ஸ்லன்னா ஆல் த டிஃப்ரெண்ட் மொடாலிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, ஆல் த டிஃப்ரெண்ட் சென்சஸ்ல இருந்து இன்புட் வந்து அதை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி இட் கேன் ஆக்ட் இன் அ ஜெனரிக் வே and it can learn as it makes mistakes. அது வந்து embodied AIங்கிறாங்க. ஸோ நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னா, there is so much of new innovation happening in every single field, and that is applicable on robotics too. And if you guys want to keep in track, என்னோட அட்வைஸ் என்னன்னா, அந்த பேசிக்ஸ் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஒன்ஸ் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா on a high level, any new things, every day you see it, there is something new coming up. How do you keep track of it? ரொம்ப ஈஸி. நீங்க இது பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஏதாவது புதுசா ஒண்ணு வந்துச்சுன்னா இது பண்றாங்களா, என்ன பண்றாங்க, எப்படி எந்த டேட்டா யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, இந்த மொடாலிட்டிஸ் யூஸ் பண்றாங்களா, ரொம்ப ஈஸியா அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இல்லைன்னா ஒரு அட்வைஸ், ஜஸ்ட் கீப் டெஃபினெட்லி அந்த பேசிக்ஸ் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. இன்னொன்னு வந்து மெட்டீரியல் வேணும்னா there is so much available. ரோபாட்டிக்ஸ்க்கு வந்து அவ்வளவு கிடையாது, ஏல வந்து there is so much available. என்ன சொல்வேன்னா, அந்த MIT-ல வந்து நீங்க MIT டீப் லேர்னிங் கோர்ஸ்னு போய் பாருங்க. எவ்வளவு அழகா மெட்டீரியல் வந்து அவ்வளவு நல்லா இருக்கு. அந்த மெட்டீரியல் வந்து இட்ஸ் ஃப்ரீ ஃபார் அஸ் டு யூஸ். நாங்கெல்லாம் எங்க டைம்ல எல்லாம் வந்து இவ்வளோலாம் இல்லவே இல்லப்பா. so much of material for you to use. இன்னொன்னு வந்து if you are interested in the vision based deep learning பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த ஸ்டான்ஃபோர்ட்ல ஒரு கோர்ஸ் இருக்கு, CS231N. ஃபேஃபேலின்னு ஒரு அம்மா, அவங்க லேப்ல இருந்து அந்த கோர்ஸை வந்து இது பண்ணுவாங்க. ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும். யூ கேன் ஆக்சுவலி லுக் அட் தட். அந்த மாதிரி there are so many materials available. அது யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. இன்னொன்னு வந்து get your hands dirty. It's not difficult at all. என்ன தெரியுமா, இந்த கூகுள் கொலாப் நோட் புக்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. ஆல் யூ கேன் see is you can find there are free notebooks available for doing some things. அதை எடுத்து நீங்க போட்டு நீங்க ஆக்சுவலா just run it, you understand the steps. So it's very easy to kind of get a deeper sense of how to do things. நிறைய அந்த மாதிரி மெட்டீரியல் அவைலபிள் which is free for you to use. So please get your hands dirty. இன்னொன்னு என்ன அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுவேன்னா, get இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ஸ் கிடைக்க முடியலையா? எனக்கு வந்து இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ஸ் ஏன் சொல்றேன் அப்படின்னா, நீங்க அந்த ப்ராக்டிக்கலா இதை யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது it is so many things that you have to learn. சரியா? சிம்பிளா தெரியும் கான்செப்ட், ஆனா நீங்க வந்து ப்ராக்டிக்கலா யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா there will be so many edge cases you have to handle. அதெல்லாம் நீங்க ஆக்சுவல் ப்ராக்டிக்கல் அப்ளிகேஷன்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது வரும். சப்போஸ் உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் கிடைக்கல அப்படின்னா, நீங்களா ஓன் ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க, ஃபுல் ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ யூ கெட் டு நோ த பிட்ஃபால்ஸ் அண்ட் என்ன சொல்றது, அந்த எட்ஜ் கேசஸ் எப்படி எல்லாத்தையும் ஒர்க் பண்றதுன்னு தெரியும். ஸோ இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் பண்ணுங்க. That's also my other advice to you.
I think Kavitha, that's the internship and projects is where we can help the most. A lot of people, students and young alumni, they don't have access to that. They don't know where to start. Aditha, I'm trying to see if we can, people like you and your experience can provide ideas for the final year projects or even for internship with them. Your company is based in US. Do you have any operation in India of your company? Maybe you can suggest companies in India which are also in the same line where students can try and ask for internships. Is there any companies that do similar work? So that's one critical thing people are not able to access because they don't know where to ask the question. And people in the university are also not very helpful with that. So Adhika, if you can do something that will be helpful. Yeah. Ravi, you have a question?
Yeah, a quick interrupt. Sorry for the interruption. Just a quick thing I want to tell for this young lady, Alisha Bharti, the first MEC student. There is SP Robotics by an CEG alum, Pranavan and Snehapriya, right? They have announced the Maker Lab kind of thing and all that. Probably she can just approach. They have their corporate office in Bangalore, I know, but probably Madras also they have unit in Chennai. Okay, just a suggestion.
Okay, sir.
And even for internships, probably it may work out. I think they're doing well in SP Robotics over the last few years, what we heard. And maybe they can check it out. Okay.
Super. I think we are out of time now. Kavitha, again, thank you so much. I think what I want to do with you is that you obviously have a lot of knowledge and which you want to share. Perhaps separately, we need to have a session for you to talk technically about these topics because you covered quite a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time at a very high level. I'm sure there are people who want to know details about some of the things in terms of the transformer architecture, in terms of all the multimodal activity, etc. All that. So we'll try and see if we can get a separate time for you to spend with the students on these things. Maybe a good idea. Harsha, you have a question? You want to unmute and ask the question? Go ahead.
Ma'am, I'm Harsha Vardhanan from Material Science and Engineering in CEG, ma'am. My question is, how does materials work on with the robotics? Like the R&D department for robotics is booming a little, but what do they even care about? Like, do they want a sensor developing or do they want research patterns or do they want at least a conference paper to get to begin with?
Can you reword that please for me so I can help you?
What I would want to ask is, there's a lot of robotics where R&D department is involved in terms of developing a material specific to them. Say, for example, carbon sensors as well as carbon fiber tensils, which are very stronger comparatively and lighter in weight. How does such departments have internship roles and stuff? Do they take research paper as a value aggregation for engineers or what do they want?
இதுல வந்து நீங்க வந்து இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி கம்பெனிஸ்ல அப்ளை பண்ணீங்கன்னா what gives you a leg up அப்படின்னு கேக்குறீங்களா? இப்போ இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ங்கும் போது you're looking for experience, so I don't think people can expect experience out of you. நான் ஜென்ரலா வந்து when I look for if I talk to somebody for internship, if you approach me, if I'm a lab, whatever, right, if you're interested in doing some things, and if you can show some pet project, projects பண்ணத சொல்லலாம், or courses that you did சொல்லலாம், so that they don't have to teach you everything, but you have some basics. அது பண்ணலாம். Yeah, so you can actually do some courses or relevant courses list பண்ணலாம், projects list பண்ணலாம். That's all you can do, right? But once you start getting the first internship, second internship is going to be easy because you already have some experience. An internship on the also, please use that as a way of looking if you really like that subject or not. பண்ணி பாருங்க. உங்களுக்கு பிடிக்கலன்னா ப்ளீஸ் லைஃப்ல there is so many things to learn. You don't have to stick with it. So internship can also be used as a way to look at if you really like that field or not. But getting that first internship is going to be you can do some courses, நீங்க pet projects எல்லாம் காமிச்சு ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் சொல்லுங்க. இந்த இதுல I'm interested in learning and show interest. And then இன்னொன்னு என்ன சொல்லுவேன்னா, you can apply to the job, but also ping people. அந்த job related அந்த கம்பெனில யாராவது இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா, feel free to send them a LinkedIn message. But don't just say, அந்த மெசேஜ் அனுப்பும்போது, I would always prefer you to say that I'm interested in this is my background. Add a few color, a little bit more color to what you're looking for. அப்படி அப்ரோச் பண்ணாங்கன்னா, there are many people who help you.
Super.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I think all the questions answered, Kavitha. Thank you again for joining today. Very good session. I think already started getting feedback from people about the session. As I said, I think you probably have more ability to teach these kind of things. So I want to see if we can set up a time where you can take maybe some portions of the topics we talked about and then provide a little bit more details to the students to learn from. But the transform architecture is a very basic thing for AI now. So maybe we can have a session on just what is the purpose, what is the transform architecture, what is the purpose, how it is used in all these various different applications. That might be a topic. I'll try and see if we can arrange a separate session with the students for that. So you can come and talk about that with some examples. So you can probably bring some real life examples and show that. But otherwise, I think you obviously have the knack of teaching. I can see that you are passionate about teaching. So we definitely want to make use of that passion that you have to help the students. But again, thank you so much for joining today. Ravi, you have a question?
No, here is a student, my daughter. I brought her in because she's also learning AI and ML. So thanks a lot, Kavitha.
Excellent.
Hi.
Excellent. Very nice.
My best
Very
wishes
nice.
to you. Again, my best wishes to all of you. It's we are there to help in any way possible. Please reach out. And again, my best wishes to you all, and you will all do great in life. So have that faith, and yeah, good.
Excellent.
And Satyan and Sudha, there's my classmates.
Sudha is
who
also a
joined
classmate.
us.
I
Thank
see.
you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Sudha is also a classmate. Okay, I got it. I think you joined sometime today. Yes.
And then thank you, Vish, for giving
You're
me this
welcome.
opportunity.
We do
Thanks.
it every. I said we do this every month, and every month we have a guest speaker, and we have various topics we cover. So it's really nice to have such a variety. And today's topic was a little bit more technical than usually we have. It's very helpful to us. Sudha, you want to say something? You want to share something? He was Satyan, one of my guest speakers a long time ago. One of the first few speakers actually, when he was in UPS at the time. Actually, Sudha, you have anything? You want to add anything?
No. Just I'm so happy to be part of this meeting. That's all.
Super.
Yeah. Just came to see Kavitha.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Sudha Paulin.
Yeah.
I'm Sudha Paulin. Yeah.
Sudha Paulin, camera on பண்ணுப்பா. I haven't seen you in like 40 years. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So you guys are meeting each other after a long time, really?
I rarely traveled. I traveled only for UPS, so I never got to. Actually, I saw Kavitha a few months back. Other than that, like I haven't seen most of my classmates.
சும்மா கதை விடுறான் சார்.
Hey, உண்மையா என் வேலை எப்படி தெரியுமில்ல? I used to be a donkey carrying boxes, though I sell cauliflower for a living. So it's like different.
Very nice. Good guys,
Alright.
all of you. Thank you for joining today. It was a good session.
Thank you.
Again, please send any feedback you have about the session, and also what kind of topics you would like to, and what kind of speakers you want, so I can try and arrange those for all of you. But again, thanks for joining, and have a good week, people.